Namaskar. Welcome to Vision of Asia Voice of Community. I'm Ashok Vyas. In today's edition on ITV Gold, we have something special from the White House. Yes, President Trump announced about vaccine for COVID. After that announcement, we'll take you to a short conversation with Dr. Indrapal who talks about how this vaccine has impacted him. And we take you to India, where a new year referred to as Victory Year or Vijay Varsh has begun. And what is this all about? You will learn in today's show. And we'll conclude with part of a promotional event organized virtually by the Indian consulate here to promote saffron from Kashmir. So all this coming up right after these short messages. Stay with us. While we are very close to a new year and beginning of a new presidency, but one important announcement by President Donald J. Trump, which was made on 12 December, was a good news. Good news in our war against invisible enemy. And here is President Trump from White House telling us all about the joy and the proud moment of delivering vaccine against COVID.
I have really good news. Today, our nation has achieved a medical miracle. We have delivered a safe and effective vaccine in just 9 months. This is one of the greatest scientific accomplishments in history. It will save millions of lives and soon end the pandemic once and for all. I am thrilled to report that the FDA has authorized the Pfizer vaccine. We have given Pfizer and other companies a great deal of money, hoping this would be the outcome, and it was. On behalf of the American people, I'd like to thank all of the brilliant scientists, technicians, doctors, and workers who made this all possible. Pfizer and Moderna have announced their vaccine is approximately 95% effective, far exceeding expectations. These vaccines are also very safe. American citizens participated in clinical trials that were far larger than normal and had no serious side effects. The dedicated and independent experts at the FDA meticulously studied the results of the trials, and it has now passed the gold standard of safety. Through Operation Warp Speed, my administration provided a total of $14 billion to accelerate vaccine development and to manufacture all of the top candidates in advance. This included a nearly $2 billion investment in Pfizer to produce 100 million doses of their vaccine, with an option to produce 500 million additional doses. And I'm proud to say that we have made sure that this vaccine will be free for all Americans. Through our partnership with FedEx and UPS, we have already begun shipping the vaccine to every state and zip code in the country. The first vaccine will be administered in less than 24 hours. The governors decide where the vaccines will go in their state and who will get them first. We want our senior citizens, healthcare workers, and first responders to be first in line. This will quickly and dramatically reduce deaths and hospitalizations. When the China virus invaded our shores, I promised that we would produce a vaccine in record time before the end of the year. They said it couldn't be done, but with today's announcement, we have now achieved that goal. The United States is the first nation in the world to produce a verifiably safe and effective vaccine. Today's achievement is a reminder of America's unlimited potential when we have the will and the courage to pursue ambitious goals. As I've said from the beginning, a vaccine will vanquish the virus and return life back to normal. The pandemic may have begun in China, but we are ending it right here in America. Operation Warp Speed is the greatest medical manufacturing endeavor in American history. We are deeply grateful to every person who has worked round the clock on this monumental national project to save lives. Thank you all for your tremendous gifts to humanity. God bless you, God bless the United States of America, and God bless the world. Thank you.
Anything new, especially from the field of medicine, makes us look at it with concern. Will there be some side effects, whether it will suit my system or not? How much it will cost? And all these details we discussed with Dr. Indrapal Chabra, who was kind enough to join us from the parking lot of hospital. And he himself was vaccinated, as the priority of vaccine is for health workers. He has served many COVID patients. And what did he tell? Let's take a look. So now I'm joined by Dr. Indrapal Chabraji, who is one of the few among us who has already taken COVID vaccine, and he also has served as past president of Queens County Medical Society, and is primary care physician here in New Hyde Park as well as Massapequa. So we are still not out of the total phase where we are concerned how things are going to shape up. But talk to us about the apprehension that many people might have. How will their body react to this vaccine?
So actually, even I was apprehensive when the first data was coming out. We didn't know it's a new technology. It's how people are going to react. लेकिन धीरे धीरे करके मुझे ये लगा कि it has to be done. The risk of COVID is much higher than whatever side effects this vaccine may give. And then luckily for me, I have a very good network of my friends from back in Manala Medical College in New Delhi. One of my classmates, he got the vaccine last week. UK में पहले से available हो चुका था. So he was one of the first in UK to get it. And I spoke with him. And he's an avid hunter. तो जिस दिन वैक्सीन लगाया उससे अगले दिन he went on a hunt party. And वो hunting करके अपनी काफी मेहनत मशक्कत करके वापस आया तो कहता है कि अरे तब ध्यान आया कि अरे मुझे तो body aches होने चाहिए थे. So it was like an afterthought for him. So that definitely gave me a nice boost. It's nothing to be afraid of. And today I got this vaccine at 11:30 in the morning, and it's in the evening around after 5 hours, and I'm running around doing my work at the hospital and seeing patients and doing admissions
and talking to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the feather on the cap is talking to Ashok.
No, I'm really happy that sitting in your car, we can at least have our viewers learn more about this COVID vaccine with your help.
Right.
So, it was only on 12th December that President Trump announced this success, which his administration have received within 9 months or so. They delivered. That was his
exactly.
pick.
Exactly.
But now, how will it be available, and is it possible that some people take it, yet others are safe, or everybody should take it? What is the general notion about it?
So, जो आपने सवाल पूछा, this is very pertinent. Well, number one, there are different ways of phases of the vaccination. Hopefully, between today and tomorrow, we will have another arrow in our quiver against COVID by the way of Moderna vaccine. So, Abhi, I was just watching the news to see if Moderna has been approved also or not. The advantage of Moderna over Pfizer is that it does not need to be stored at minus 80 degrees Celsius. So, and we will have another 100 million doses available of another very successful vaccine. In terms of the efficacy, दोनों में फर्क 19-20 का ही है. Moderna is 94.1% effective, and Pfizer is 95% effective. That is the only difference. They are both based on the same mitochondrial RNA technology. And something has to be said about the technology also. Basically, mitochondria are small pieces. Mitochondria are small pieces which lie outside of the nucleus of a cell. Basically, so they are not going to enter into your genetic material. They are not going to alter your genetic material. Mitochondria are small particles which are very helpful in producing energy for the body. And they have their own RNA, which will help in producing some protein. So basically, by manipulating that RNA, they are producing spike proteins of the coronavirus, the virus itself, the form which causes COVID. And that spike protein gets presented to the human blood. तो अपने जो होस्ट बॉडी है, अगर जैसे आज मुझे वैक्सीन लगा है तो बिटवीन टुडे एंड टुमारो my body will start producing antibodies by itself. So it's not to be afraid of. It's nothing to be scared of.
Because of COVID, financially also people are not doing very well
Right.
at times.
Right.
And so, is this going to be covered by most of the insurance, and how it is playing out?
It is. It's a very expensive drug combination, but the price is right. The price is zero.
That vaccination. Oh, that price is right. I think
Everything related to COVID is being covered by the government.
I
If you
see.
do not have insurance, do not hesitate in getting in touch with somebody who can take care of you. Just a few weeks ago, I had treated a person who actually, maybe later on I'll share some pictures of his condition. The poor man had COVID. He did not have any insurance. So one of his first questions when he contacted me was, "Boss, मेरे पास insurance नहीं है, मेरा क्या होगा?" मैंने कहा, "आप चिंता मत करो, आप आ जाओ hospital, you will be taken care of." He was so severely short of breath that he could not even stand. He was standing with his hands outstretched, trying to gasp for breath. The poor man had a tumor in his heart that was operated upon, in addition to COVID. And his cost, including post-op care, including the care at home, is totally free.
Very, very good. I'm really happy, and I think most of our viewers will be happy to hear this. And this is very comforting. And as I thank you for taking your time out. Once again, briefly, you want to say something about anybody who might still be thinking that even if the vaccine comes, should I go for it or should not I?
Absolutely, you should take the vaccine if it is made available to you. Please go ahead, get yourself vaccinated. I am begging people who have not taken their flu shots. Still begging them to get the flu shot, and the flu shot efficacy is no more than 75%. ये तो 95% effective है. This is amazing technology. This is amazing drug. This is going to be the salvation of the whole entire world. This has to be done.
Indian government is observing a whole year dedicated to victory of India, Vijay Varsh, or glorious victory year, as we would say. The first event in this connection was observed at War Memorial in Delhi in the presence of Prime Minister himself as well as Defense Minister. And there are many events planned throughout the year which would bring in the minds of young Indian Americans as well as Indians everywhere references of India's courage, India's valor, and India's commitment to uphold its dignity and honor. Here are some glimpses from that special event.
महावीर प्रसाद प्रेमी वीर चक्र अवॉर्डी।
इन्हें देख के यूं लगता है कि बर्फबारी हो या गोलीबारी हो या दुश्मन ने की खूब तैयारी हो, हे भारत माँ मैं तेरा सैनिक पुत्र, हर हाल में दुश्मन को लोहे के चने चबवा के आऊंगा, तिरंगा तो मैं लहरा के आऊंगा, तिरंगा तो मैं लहरा के आऊंगा।
क्या बात।
And Ms. Jayashri, I'd like to tell you that these veterans would be handing over the flame to the youngsters, which is a symbol of passing of wisdom and energy to the zeal to the youngsters. The equipment and weapon will continually change and improve. The size of the military will expand as needed, but the unyielding will of the soldier and the dedication of professional military leaders will never change.
रिले रनर्स इस मशाल को लेकर जाएंगे और ये इंडियन आर्मी की गाड़ियों में ये फ्लेम ऑफ ग्लोरी, ये स्वर्णिम विजय मशाल देश के हर उस शहर या गांव में जाएगी जहां 1971 के वीरों के घर हैं।
देश के माथे पर विजय तिलक लगाने के उस गौरव के क्षणों से हर देशवासियों को भारतीय सेना जोड़ने जा रही है।
ये हैं वो गाड़ियां जिनमें स्वर्णिम विजय मशाल देश के चारों कोनों में यहाँ से जाएगी।
जी जयश्री, यहाँ से देश के चारों कोनों, चारों दिशाओं की ओर ये जाएंगी। विजय ज्योति यहाँ से निकलेंगी जो देश के हर कोने को जोड़ते हुए वापस दिल्ली पहुंचेंगी।
स्वर्णिम विजय मशाल देश के शौर्य और पराक्रम का प्रतीक, देश के प्रेम की ज्वाला जो आज हम सभी के सीनों में धधकती हैं। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री विजिटर बुक में डिजिटल हस्ताक्षर करेंगे। हर काम देश के नाम, इस नारे को चरितार्थ करते हुए भारत के प्रधानमंत्री।
मेरा जनून हिंदुस्तान, मेरा करम हिंदुस्तान, मेरी निष्ठा हिंदुस्तान, हर बूंद रक्त मेरे देश के नाम, हर बूंद का बस यही नाम, हिंदुस्तान हिंदुस्तान हिंदुस्तान।
उन्नत, ये तो बस एक शुरुआत है, ये एक आगाज है स्वर्णिम विजय वर्ष के समारोह का। 1971 युद्ध में जीत की 50वीं सालगिरह पूरे एक साल तक मनाई जाएगी। 16 दिसंबर यानी आज से अगले साल 16 दिसंबर 2021 तक कार्यक्रम होंगे।
You're absolutely right, Ms. Jayashri. Today marks the beginning of the 50th year of the famous victory, as this year is being celebrated as the Swarnim Vijay Varsh. Several events, as you mentioned, are planned during the year, commencing from today till 16 December 2021.
आज की ये सुबह अभूतपूर्व है। स्वर्णिम विजय वर्ष समारोह के अंतर्गत एक वेबसाइट भी लॉन्च की जाएगी जिसमें युद्ध और वीरता की दास्तानें होंगी। ये सुबह उन वीर सेनानियों के नाम हैं जिन्होंने हंसते हंसते अपनी जान पर खेलते हुए 1971।
Welcome back. You're watching Vision of Asia, Voice of Community on ITV Gold, and this program comes to you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays at 8 p.m. And we have a special weekly edition of Vision of Asia every Sunday at 11 a.m. We appreciate your continued patronage, support, and encouragement. Stay with us. We'll be right back after these short messages. Indian Consulate organized an event to promote Kashmir in the field of trade and commerce. And the main focus was Kashmir's saffron. Kashmir has a long history of producing saffron, and there are some historical interesting references. But presently, looking at the trade promotion, how this virtual event would help, the time would tell. But it was a very powerful beginning by Indian Consul General in the presence of members of Kashmiri community as well as celebrity chef Hemant Mathur. Take a look.
We are hosting this trade promotion event centered on saffron in collaboration with Jammu and Kashmir Trade Promotion Organization and the Department of Commerce and Industries of the Jammu and Kashmir government. There is a lot of history which is open for interpretation. But whether it is a spice or a herb, that aside, saffron has added so much of value, color, energy, vitality, vibrancy to our culinary delights in India and elsewhere in the world. And not just that, it has added value to our health, to medicine, and to art, to our arts. On the history of saffron, we have a speaker here who will tell us more about where it came from, how it came to India, how it traveled to other parts of the world. But today, here our focus is that we want to get more of Indian saffron to the US market. Kashmiri saffron is known in the US market. US market, saffron market is substantial, and we want to get the best of Indian saffron to the US market for the consumers here, for the delight here. India happens to be one of the leading producers of saffron and also a consumer of saffron. On the export side, we are doing well, but we can do much better. And while we promote saffron trade from India, our idea is to add value to those farmers, peasants in and around Srinagar and elsewhere in India, so that we also take care of their well-being and their incomes. Recently in India, we have focused to promote our agricultural exports. We've also taken some very transformative steps to give a push to open our food processing sector. There will be people here participating from that segment, and I invite you to look at the opportunities that Indian food processing sector offers.
In the last 10 years, I visited 3 times during the harvest time of saffron, from sowing to actually farming and to harvesting. And I stayed longer understanding that why our saffron doesn't reach the world. The process is also that many of the people who are doing this is family run, and they've not improvised on the way they dry the saffron. There's a lot of manpower which goes into plucking it. And you know, when I was buying saffron from there, they'll wrap it in just a newspaper. And I went to Dubai right after that, and I saw that our saffron was at par to the saffron which grows in Iran, but the way the Iranian saffron was branded and packaged, and they were charging almost 20 times the price. So that is what kept me going back and back, because it's a part of my PhD about understanding the pollination of spices. But this was very heartbreaking for me, that having a quality in Pampore where everything was actually nature's gift. I think 3 years ago, with the whole storm and everything, they had a big interruption of farming of saffron. And saffron is absolutely magical in those valleys. But, you know, I'm seeing it what saffron is being done in Spain. They actually have tourism around saffron. Entire things are based on tourism packages. Even in Iran, they have so much of marketing which goes from the government to talk about this amazing spice which only grows in few pockets of the world.
Thank you for Indian Consul General of India and Kashmiri Port to talk about Kashmiri saffron. Kashmiri saffron, when we were cooking in India, we always think Kashmiri saffron is very expensive to use in Indian cuisine. When I come here and when they told us to use Kashmiri saffron, and we use today also, it's making some culinary delights and use Kashmiri saffron only, and see the flavors of comparison of Spain and Indian. So Kashmiri saffron has a lot of flavors and aromatics. So now I'm just promoting Kashmiri saffron to use my all restaurants in food. This saffron is actually is a very important spice also in cuisine, and how to use techniques is very important. How you roast and how you use in like liquid stiva. So I'm using Kashmiri saffron now, everyone, and thank you.
Time to say goodbye from today's Vision of Asia Voice of Community. But before we go, let me remind you, we have a very vibrant ITV Gold's Facebook page. Be friends with us there, and also subscribe ITV Gold's YouTube channel. Keep writing to us, events@itvgold.com. Stay safe, take care. This is Ashok Vyas. Namaste.